Hello YouTube and welcome back to Classically Weird. My name is Headmaster Howard. I'm your host for today's episode, and joining me as always is my lovely wife and partner in this adventure, Miss Ragana Rae.
Hello, greetings and salutations, fellow wonderful weird.
Alright, so today we are taking a journey through Sinister. Now, some horror movies shock you, some disturb you, and then you have movies like Sinister that crawl its way into your brain and refuse to leave. This one it gripped me.
I am excited that it did, because once again, I will say thank you that you watched this. This was a suggestion that I had made to you when we first got together and we're talking about horror movies, and because of your strong no harm with children in movies, this was on a hard no list for a long while, and you were willing to, for the channel, and get me to watch The Quiet Place.
That was the trade-off, right?
However, after watching it, and it's a good flick. It's good, and I'm excited to talk about it with you.
I will actually say that even though I kept this movie at an arm's distance for quite a while, this has skyrocketed itself up into, I would say, my top 10 list.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
It's good. It's definitely good.
It's got so many notes in it that you and I both connect with, from spoiler alerts, demons, film, real crime, story. It's got a lot of good stuff into it that just collides together.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot of those good themes that you and I agree that are entertaining.
For us, yes.
Yes, for us. For everybody, no, but for us,
yes,
definitely.
Yes.
All right, so let's start moving into the plot of Sinister.
It is quite sinister.
It is, isn't it? All right, we open with an image that immediately burns itself into your memory. 4 people, a family hooded and bound with nooses around their necks. A tree branch saws its way down, and the family is lifted up into the air. No explanation, no context, just a slow, quiet horror that makes you lean forward in your seat uneasy before the story even begins.
And really, in the beginning, you don't know that it's a family.
You don't.
You say family, but you don't. It's just 4 people just on this old film strip, and the sound of that, the whirling.
Oh, the crank of the Super 8?
Of the Super 8. It just adds to I use the word unsettling a lot. I really do. I going back and watch. Yeah, I go back and I watch our videos and I see unsettling a lot, but this one was a deep unsettling.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. So then from there we cut to Ethan Hawke again playing Ellison Oswalt, who is moving his family into this, what it first appears to be kind of a nondescript house. It's just a generic house.
Suburb, small town.
Suburb, right? And the sheriff shows up and starts confronting him. This is where we start getting the context that Ellison is a true crime writer, and he doesn't always get everything right. The sheriff doesn't want him stirring up trouble, things like that. So he's very confrontational with him. There's also a subtle hint there that something more is involved with the house. The sheriff calls it out. He goes, "I find this disturbing."
Yep, it's tacky. It's disturbing. Like, how could you do this? And you're wondering,
like, what is he talking about?
What is he talking about?
Right. And that's going to come later.
Yeah.
Like, the revelation on it's coming later, and it was just... All right.
Yeah, we had some deep conversations about how we felt about that. Maybe we'll get back into that.
Yeah.
When we get there.
Yeah, when we cross that bridge.
When we cross that bridge in there. Okay.
Yeah. So shortly after moving in, Ellison discovers a box of Super 8 film reels and a projector in the attic. They didn't bring them with them. they're like, Ellison's like, why are these things here?
Which, I mean, there are plenty of times in homes that when you move in that people leave things behind. So this looks interesting. I'll deal with it later.
Right. I don't know if it's just like family movies or...
Yeah. Somebody might be wanting it back because it does. It looks like years of family movies, and maybe somebody does want it back. And also, as an investigative writer, there would be a curiousness as to what this is.
Yeah. And that's what we see Ellison do. Once the family's asleep, once the family's going down for the night, they're kind of settling in. In between, we're also getting some exposition around how the family feels about the move. The family's not very happy about it. The daughter's like, well, I miss my old school. She's trying to be like, why did we have to move? The wife's like, oh God, not again. Please don't do this again. And the son is also unnerved because he's like, look, the last place where we did this, the school ended up hating me. I ended up, on the outskirts of it. So I'm just in another place where they're going to hate me. So we're getting all of this while Ellison is saying, look, just bear with me. This is going to be a hit. We're going to be back on top, etc.
I just need another hit.
Right.
There's a big emphasis on that.
There's a huge emphasis on the addiction that comes with success in this movie. I would say, okay, overarching plot-wise, this movie is one that deals with that dopamine addiction, as well as the dangers of diving down certain rabbit holes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right. When you start poking into things sometimes, it can get dangerous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's something that we even have to remember as we are exploring in our journey some of the real crime that we watch, as well as some of the horrors that we watch, that we do balance it out with some good comedies once in a while. Or we do have little kids, so we watch a lot of Disney in between. So yes, there is that weighing that you see between a family, because it's not a fully supporting family dynamic that's happening, and that also stirs up when you have those heavy emotions in a house, and then on top of it there's this potential of paranormal activity, and you know that in paranormal activities sometimes things feed on the negativity in your home. So you've got a family that's fighting and a author that is reviewing very dark, tragic information to write a best-selling book because he wants to give his family the best life and take them back home to where they're happy. So there's a lot of pressure on him as well. A lot of
pressure, which I think helped to propel him even further down that rabbit hole.
Much quicker, and the wife does say that as well. What is going on in this case?
Why is this one different?
Yes, and why are you already on the bottle? You usually don't start drinking this soon. And it's like, if you would just watch what he saw on those movie reels, you'd be drinking too.
But she didn't want to know.
She didn't. And she didn't want to know anything.
I know people like that. They're like, look, I don't want to know. I do not want to know. And that's her way of defending herself. And
she's very mama bear. She's
very mama bear.
It's keep your door locked. They don't need to see any of what you're writing about. They're already going to hear things. And she is very mama bear, and even says, this is it. This is your last chance. And either way, I'm taking the kids and I'm going home. I'm going to my sister's. I'm going to take them to a safe, normal environment.
What she said was, if this is anything like the last one, then I'm taking the kids to my sister's.
Yes.
So
I thought there was also a part in there about if this is your last.
If it doesn't go well.
If it doesn't go well, that she's finito. She's done with all of this.
So then we get to Ellison in his office, starting to set up his office, and that's what he tells the wife, I'm gonna do. He's like, I'm gonna go set up my office. She's like, okay, how long are you gonna be? And he says, oh, like an hour or two. And she says, no, how long are we gonna be here? So there's more of that tension, but we cut to him in the office, and he pops in the first video, and, sets up the reel, does all that stuff, which, as a film nerd myself, I got such good vibes.
The whole thing, him hanging up the
sheet for the projector, and that just the sound of the film reel, it scratches such a good place in my brain. I'm nerdy like that. It's weird.
Excited over that,
but I liked it.
Yeah, watching all that. You even talked about that you would like to get a projector for us.
Oh yeah. As we upgrade this endeavor and as we move into a new space, I would love to get us a projector so we have more of that actual movie theater feel while we're doing this.
Our own private movie theater, because you hate going to the theaters.
Oh my god. It's too people-y. I know some of y'all out there can relate to that. It's too people-y. So we see as he starts watching the first film reel, and at first it's really just the family that's being shown. You kind of
think that it's going to be. It's family
home movies.
Home movies. That's what I was looking for. Family home movies.
But then it takes a hard left turn, barreling into a wall, and we see that film is actually the segment that we got at the open, the very first thing.
Now we know it's the family.
That's the family
from the tree.
Yeah, and it's dark.
Oh wow,
it's dark.
Yeah.
So it disturbs him, as well it should. When you're encountering things like that, which is positioned diegetically in this as real, right? This is real.
Yep.
Diegetically, just for context, meaning in the actual movie, it is real. So diegetic sound, when you turn on a radio in a movie and you hear the sound coming from it, that's diegetic sound.
Okay, thank you.
So in this case, these home movies in the realm of this movie
is an actual
real
of
filming,
the unaliving of the family.
Yeah, the deaths of the family, and it's disturbing. If you were to actually encounter that stuff in real life, just with no idea that it was coming, it's going to unnerve you.
Oh my gosh.
And we see him hit that bottle
real quick. I mean, and like you said, it was a family film, and then that hard cut, so you've settled and you're like, oh look how cute this is. Oh, it's a birthday party. Oh wow. That is no longer a birthday party. And instantly the color change, you've got the happy family, and then the dramatic music that comes with it, and it's like someone just flipped a switch. It goes that quick.
There's also a scene where there's a family trapped in a car, and they light it on fire, and it's disturbing. Every one of these films is disturbing. For context, each one of these films is showing a different family, not the same family. So this is something that is going on and on and on
over years,
decades.
Yeah, because he's trying to figure out
what's the pattern.
Yeah, what's the pattern? I was trying to think about remember how the oldest movie, it was like the 60s. Was it the 70s?
You mentioned 60s.
Yeah, the 60s, all the way up until kind of what was that current time period of wherever they were at. And each one was, because the families, there's a family member, that it's a family, and you're trying to figure out, and there's a child missing from each one, so you're also trying to figure out where did the other child go, right? Because he's watching every family member be killed, and then goes, but wait a minute, where's the other child?
So he does that with the first one that's shown, but he doesn't know that yet.
He doesn't tune it. He hasn't figured that out.
He doesn't know yet that every other one is missing a kid. He doesn't know that just yet. So we see as he dives further and tries to get more information, he ends up crossing paths with a deputy of the local Kings County Sheriff's Department, a lawman of some sort, right? We'll put it that way. Now, he crosses paths with the deputy, and the deputy is a fan. And he's like, look, I know the sheriff wasn't very welcoming to you. However, I can help you. I would kind of like to be your deputy so-and-so to help you. Well, and that becomes his nickname.
His name. Because also he mentions, in all your books, there's always I couldn't have done this without the help of Deputy so-and-so. So he wants to be the so-and-so and have his little name and fame, but also wants to genuinely help because he says, this is my town.
Yeah, he's like, this is my home.
Yeah, we're all still healing from this. This happened to all of us.
I like the actor who played Deputy so-and-so.
Oh, yeah?
We've also seen him in It. He played the grown-up Eddie Kasprak.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So he does some disturbing roles, and that's not the only thing that he's done that's of that realm. And we'll cross some of those. We'll tackle some of those as they come up on the watch list.
Okay, yeah, that's right. He is Eddie. He was good as Deputy so-and-so as well.
He was good. He was definitely good. So Deputy so-and-so, which is what we will officially call him.
Deputy so-and-so.
Right? Deputy so-and-so goes off and does a little bit of investigation and figure out, because Ellison gave him a little context. He's like, hey, while I was looking into this, I found like this of a family that was drowned. He was like, this is the year. Can you cross-reference for me? And Deputy so-and-so goes off, gets some of that information, brings it back to Ellison, and he's like, well, this family lived at this address and that family lived at that address. Meanwhile, Ellison has also discovered an occult symbol. A deputy is like, well, you might want to reach out to the local college. They have an occult expert there, played by an uncredited Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yes, you were quite excited when he popped up.
I like Vincent D'Onofrio. He's a good actor. He is. Law and Order SVU, Men in Black, so on. He's a good actor.
Yes.
Right. But so Ellison reaches out to the occult expert, and he's like, whoa, okay, I knew right away what case you were working, etc., just based on that symbol, because that's not the type of symbol that some edgy teen's gonna draw in their bedroom just to,
Yeah,
he's like, it's a bit more obscure.
This one's an actual sigil towards a
pagan deity.
Because people do draw their own sigils.
Yeah. This is where we actually get a name for the force behind it. Bagul. So Ellison, as he's reviewing the films, also gets a small little hint. He starts seeing a face
in the images,
and he pauses the film reel and gets up to look at it closer, gets to show he's so enthralled by it.
He's trying to get a picture of it.
So that he can
put it on it, like you said, on his computer and everything.
Well, yeah, and he has it on there for so long that the film ends up burning and breaking.
Because you can't do that.
You can't do that with Super 8.
Yeah, you can't just freeze it on there.
No.
It catches on fire.
It's celluloid, right?
Geez.
Celluloid is actually one of the most flammable substances. It has an extremely high flammability rate. And I was like, I was sitting here watching it going, you can't pause it that long. I'm going, don't do that.
Poof.
I was like, I didn't know if they would take it in that direction, but the real
they did.
In me
was
was like,
it was also going to be symbolic because it was holding on the image of Bagul, not bagel, Bagul.
Gabagool.
And so, of course, it was going to need to do something that dramatic to show you that you can't hold on my image. It's going to, go away. So, yeah. I mean, there was, multiple layers there with that.
So now with the insight that he got from the occult expert, he was able to put a name to the face.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the film reels and all that, Ellison discovers that there are these hand-drawn little images depicting each one of the families that are shown. And there's always this little stick figure on one side, Mr. Boogie.
Mm-hmm.
And Bagul, Boogie.
Yep. Yeah. How would a child interpret
Mr. Boogie?
Yeah, the boogeyman.
Exactly.
Yeah, the boogie. Ooh.
Yeah.
The boogeyman. Ooh. Takes the children away. Be afraid of the boogeyman. Yep. It's all just like the whole story of the boogeyman. That's You're giving me the eye, and I'm like, like so many of my stories in my child have just flashed before my eyes of like the boogeyman. Yeah.
And we see as Ellison is continuing in his investigation and diving into everything, his obsession grows deeper around the case. He's like, I've got the big one. Yeah, this is bigger than anything I've ever tackled before.
Yep.
And it's putting a strain into his family relationship because the wife is begging him, like, I've never seen you this bad. I've never seen you hit the bottle this early or this hard, this often. And I'm begging you, just drop it. Let's leave. Let's go.
Not only is her husband down this rabbit hole, but also their son is now having Trevor's having
Tremors,
and night terrors again. And so she is concerned for her child because she keeps saying we haven't had these in a long time. What is this case? What are you working on? Because whatever is happening here is affecting our children. And then the daughter, where they had a rule about you're only allowed to paint in your bedroom. She's a little artist. And
she is a little artist.
And they have an agreement with her that you can paint your room however you want. You just have to keep it in your bedroom. Well, now she's
painted the hallway.
She's painted the hallway, but now there's spiritual activity that's happening because she's having things happening. So you've got this Bagul in the film, and then there's more story around the house that we're still trying to figure out as to why are the kids acting this way.
Yeah, and we're seeing as the daughter she spills the beans on what the deal with the house is. It comes out that the house was the family that Ellison is investigating's house. And the wife had asked him, like, we didn't move in just a couple houses down from a murder house, did we? And he says, no.
that was he didn't lie to her. But how did you call it, that like little workaround that he did? I was like, of course.
I quoted Futurama.
Oh, jeez.
He's technically correct. The best kind of correct.
She said, we didn't move down the street. No, honey, you moved into the house. And you let our kids play in there. No, actually, it's right outside the back door where all the murders happen.
In the backyard.
So now you've got that happening in the house and that explosion of tension because she's against what kind of writing he is doing. And he does say earlier that in order to have kept the house, he would have had to write like college textbooks, and he just couldn't do that. So he
couldn't bring himself to do it. And
she would have rathered him write that and just lived a comfortable life, whereas he still has that creative passion and that chase and that needing that another hit, that addiction. So he's chasing that. They're living in a house, so how dare he move her and their children into this home where such a tragedy has happened? To what length is the story worth it to you that you've put us in this situation?
and she's saying, you're doing this book for you. And he's saying, no, no, not like that. I want to give us the life that we deserve.
And it's just back and forth.
Right? And it's two opposing points of view on how the situation is being handled and why. And that tension there really causes a rift between the two of them on the same night that it happens, that argument happens. Elliot falls asleep in the chair, or Ellison, rather, falls asleep in the chair watching one of his old interviews from when he was famous.
Yep.
Drinking on his whiskey. And the wife comes up and goes, okay, and takes care of him, takes the drink away, gets him to bed, all that. And he wakes up later that night to one of the most disturbing experiences of the entire movie. As the nights have been progressing, there have been disturbances at night where Ellison wakes up and is venturing around the house trying to figure out what that noise was. Why is the film reel going on its own? All these disturbances that are happening, these paranormal occurrences, and he's trying to figure it out. But this night was the worst one. He hears a noise, he hears all this stuff, and realizes that the attic's open. And that scene where he's coming up to the attic stairs, he's walking up to them, and all you have is the ladder going up and light shining down. My instant reaction was, don't go up there. Don't. Just avoid it. But he did anyways.
It was also
right?
a beautiful scene, too, the way it was all
gorgeous.
well lit.
It was incredibly well shot. But you still have that, like, don't
do that. Don't do that.
So he does the thing. He goes up the ladder, and he sees all of the missing kids sitting around, looking up at Mr. Boogie, at Bagul. And Bagul comes after him, and you know, he falls and all this. It's incredibly disturbing. Yeah, he also finds Trevor in the backyard.
His son.
Trevor.
Finds his son in the
right?
backyard.
In the backyard.
And his son, who's having a night terror, is like in the bushes, and is actually that gave me a little bit of a jump scare.
It was a good jump scare.
It was a good jump scare. And also, even though he's chasing this next hit, he's still a father, and he's concerned worried about his kid, but he's still chasing that hit at the same time. I just keep getting the kid's eyes in the bushes.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
So my brain is like, now that we're talking about it, so I'm losing my train of thought. It also interests me when you bring up the scene with that bothering you, and you're like, don't go up in there, because generally you are the one that would go and investigate something. When we watched The Conjuring, I teased you about that you would be the one recording, but here Sinister got you to a point where you were like, don't go in that attic. Don't do it. Like, not even you were gonna mess with that.
So the thing about it is, I was saying for him not to do it.
Oh, okay. For him, okay.
Not to toot my own horn, but I'm a little more equipped than he is to deal with otherworldly things.
Yes, and that's where some of our conversation came around, putting us into the scenario.
Right.
Of you chasing some sort of big story like that, and upon per se you writing such a book, would we move our family into a murder house?
Right.
But also in who we are and how we approach situations like that. We want haunted houses.
We do.
And how we would engage with such an energy and shifting that around, that I think we would be more of a blessing to it because we wouldn't harp on that. We,
Right.
We understand energy movements. We understand, how we can manage that type of stuff. So that's where we would differ at. And, okay, we have rules in this house. You don't mess with our kids. You don't mess with our pets. And I don't send you into the nether realms of other things. And,
Yeah. We would set boundaries, but we wouldn't be confrontational.
Exactly. And, protections at the doors so there was no more boogeyman. And, we wouldn't be, we would deal with such movie films that just suddenly appeared in our attic. So we had a different kind of layout on how we would deal with such situations. But in general, there are a lot of houses that unfortunately have tragedies in them, and then people don't want to live in them because they've had such tragedies.
Right.
But there's also ways to help the vibrations and work with those energies when you live in a haunted house.
Improve the situation.
There we go. That's what we're looking for.
All right, so that night where all of that happens, where he goes up into the attic, he finds his kid outside, the dog. Oh, God.
The dog.
What he called the Cujo dog.
Yes, which is a nice little Stephen King call.
Right? Yeah. So between the paranormal involvement of this, the fact that Ellison's a writer, Cujo gets referenced, the guy who played Eddie Kasprax in this, I'm like, is this a Stephen King flick? And it's not. It's not.
And also, this movie came out years before the remake of It. So that was just a nice little, kudos to you for staying in the horror realm.
Ellison decides, we gotta go. He's like, we gotta go. This is dangerous. I can't do this.
He's now seen the multiple families. He's connected that a family lived in the house, so the next victim was always, it was a house behind. Like, the families lived in the same houses, so he's connected it all.
Right. So he's figured out that every one of the families were interconnected. There was still one that they hadn't made that connection on yet. But Ellison burns the Super 8 reels, destroys everything, turns around, looks at his wife and goes, we need to get out of here now.
Yep.
And she's like, you're scaring me. And he goes, now.
Yeah.
Move.
Yep.
We're doing this now.
Yep. We'll call the movers in the morning. They'll come and get our stuff.
Yep.
We're out of here.
Ellison gets the family back to their old home, which everybody's happy about.
Everybody's happy.
Like, yay!
So you think it's, yep.
We're thinking they're going to be safe. And I remember saying right about here in our watch through, I was like, this movie's not going to end pleasantly. I was like, there's no way this is going to end on a good note. And I was right. So Ellison settles back in. He's starting to get everything going again. The occult specialist reaches back out to him with some scans of some Bagul stuff. And Ellison, in his curiosity, takes a peek and reaches back out to the occult specialist. They have a little bit of a conversation around what are the powers of Bagul, what are the rumors and all these things. And Ellison starts asking like these really specific questions, and the specialist is like, what kind of book are you writing, man? And he goes, I don't even know if I have a book anymore, because Ellison's just done.
Yeah.
It's at that point that he actually answers the phone for Deputy so-and-so, starts off with, do you know what time it is? And Deputy's like, I've been trying to call you all day, man. It comes out that the pattern is that every family that was killed lived in the house of the family that was killed before them, eventually coming out and realizing, whoa, I just moved.
Yep.
So you're next on the chopping block.
Yep. And if he had possibly stayed in the last house, that
even with as disturbing as it was
that it could have saved him and his family.
It could have. So that same night, he gets poisoned by his daughter.
Which I love this. I love that twist in it, because all throughout the movie, the son is having
the
tremors
son's with the night terrors.
With the night terrors and stuff. Because you figured out in the movie that by this point that each family that is killed, there's the one child that's left behind, and we didn't even like the lawnmower family. Oh, yeah. So you're kind of wondering which child of his it's going to be. Is it going to be the boy or is it going to be the girl? Because both of them show signs.
Which one's going to be the sacrifice? Which is what the context is at that time. You're like, well, they're a sacrifice because Bagul eats kids.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah. It's he harms the family and then
and then eats one of the kids.
Eats the kids and then keeps them in this in-between world, which is where that paranormal activity is happening because the kids are in the in-between realm. And you can hear them through the house because wherever this Bagul has shown up at, the kids are running around and away from, like, near him, away from him, kind of thing. But yeah, it had been a long time since I had seen this movie, and I had forgotten which one of his kids had.
So you were trying to figure it out.
So I was like, oh, because the boy was I had felt that one, but yeah, it's his daughter, the sweet little daughter with the little paintings on the wall. Oh, she wasn't always sweet. I mean, she didn't like being there, but yeah.
Right. Well, every kid's gonna be a little.
Her scene that she leaves for the movie is quite intense. The way she takes out the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The artisticness of the filming of it. Which that's what the thing is. Bagul picks one of the kids, and that actually comes out in the conversation with the specialist, where he goes, children who are exposed to Bagul's images are especially susceptible. And if you caught it in the movie, there's actually a scene where Ellison's in his office, and the door's open, and the daughter comes to the door, and she saw the image. And you don't really connect all of that until you're thinking about it afterwards. And so the daughter gets the family, traps them, and says, don't worry, Daddy, I'll make you famous again.
Oh, she did, yeah.
Boy.
That was, yeah.
You imagine a famous true crime writer gets taken out in a slaughterhouse like that. That's, you want to talk about making somebody famous again.
Yep.
That'll do it.
Because now they're going to write books about him.
Yep. And trying to figure out where Alice is. Where's the daughter?
Because, she disappeared, but she's now with the rest of the kids. And it got recorded, and it moves on.
It moves on. So whoever moves into his house next, that's it.
So what does that teach us? Don't look at weird things that get left behind in houses.
No, the idea is don't go diving too far down rabbit holes. Obsession and addiction are very dangerous things. I think that's what the film's trying to tell us.
That's deep.
That's the plot. All right, my love. So now let's start talking about the cinematography of Sinister.
Oh my gosh, what do you have to say about that? 'Cause
one thing that this film does incredibly well is instead of just jump scares or fast action, it's not throwing a scare at you every minute and a half. It's slowly dripping the horror in, just one film frame at a time. It's just slowly dripping it in. It's a slow build, but that build is good. It's paced very well. And it's no wonder that people actually left, or reflecting back on this, say that it's one of the best horror movies of the 2010s. Because really, with the way that it's filmed, the way that the plot is, you feel like you've seen something that you shouldn't have.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like you've kind of unraveled right there, right along with Ellison, as he spirals down this rabbit hole. And like you weren't supposed to see it, almost like a snuff film.
Yeah, like you went down the dark web. Somehow you found yourself in the dark web. And yeah, because even in the scenes when he's watching them, he's so encompassed because he's got that big, the way they filmed it, you are, that point of view, you are watching it and seeing it for the first time, the first time with him, and those emotions, that you would feel like watching somebody go through such a tragic,
right,
horrific.
And you start imagining, what would I do if this was me?
Yep.
Yeah. So, a lot of this film takes place at night. A lot of this movie takes place at night. And that leaves a lot of you looking at the shadows. What could be there? What am I missing? This movie, with the demonic plot and everything that we just talked about in the plot breakdown, this really becomes like a demonic game of Where's Waldo? It really does. So you're constantly like scanning the frame, going, did that shadow just move, or am I imagining it? So with it being filmed the way that it is, with very, very controlled and very subdued lighting, it plays with your head. So it starts actually getting it into your head, and you start scanning the frames like that, which I think is beautiful for a film like this, because it pulls you more into that world.
Did you find that once we realized that you could see Bagul in the frame when he's watching the Super 8s of it, and we tuned in, that Bagul, that you're searching in each one of the to see, because it was like on one of them, wasn't it like the reflection off the water?
Yeah, so he was looking up from underneath the water.
Okay.
And one of them, it was like as they're walking down a hallway, you see his reflection. And it's like,
so then like you said, like the Where's Waldo, like, oh my gosh, where is it going to appear? And it was very creative in the ways that it appeared. It's
kind of like you're playing a game along with him. So it was far more engaging than just like, oh, there was a sound, or
that constant eye scan. My mind keeps popping back to when Trevor was out in the bushes. That one just, because those eyes,
and that stark brightness that was in that scene of the skin, of the eyes, all of that coming out of that darkness is another one of those, like, why subdued lighting like that, why dimly lit spaces like that and framing like that are impactful in a film like this.
Yes.
Because you just spent all this time indoors where it's really, really dark, and you go outside and there's a little bit of ambient light, but then boom, out comes Trevor from the bushes, and the flashlight's on him, so he's reflecting light back, and it's jarring.
Yes.
And it sticks with you.
There was a scene that, so we talked about in the opening scene, the tree is quite, I would say, is a main character in a lot of this, because it's on their promos, on all of the Sinister, the tree is there. But there's a point, even when they're standing in the house, and there's an angle that they're talking about the house, and that's where the last family was killed, and it shoots like out the back door, like out the sliding glass door, and on the tree, like he just like looks, that he's talking about, and he just looks right out the door. So you've got this standard house, and if you didn't know that a family had been hung there, I mean, it was kind of, you have a beautiful shot through the house, but there's that ominous of it that was kind of a neat shot to me.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Like that, it's framed incredibly well.
You impressed I called that one?
Yes.
See what happens when I start watching too many movies with you?
So, here's another good one cinematically. Those film reels, the Super 8 film reels, those were actually filmed on Super 8 film reel.
Really? I like that. That's cool that they went to that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives an authenticity to it.
Yes.
And they were actually the first things filmed for the movie.
Oh, ew.
They were the first things filmed for it.
Oh, you know what would have been interesting if Ethan Hawke, if that was like the first time he saw it, like while they were, like, what did that look like?
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be like, okay, so we haven't shown you this yet, but sit down, get into character, and then he's like, what the heck? What did you just show? Like that would be so...
Yeah, like that genuine reaction.
That genuine reaction of... Because that stuff is twisted. I mean, I thought Saw had some twisted stuff in it. Or is it that because you know it's a family?
Right. You know it's a family, and you know it's portrayed as, like, real crime. Oh, almost like... Yeah.
Like the car that got set on fire, it puts like a 12, it looked like they're not bricks, but like 12 pack of soda on them.
Yeah. In
the back seat of the car, like utilizing what was around and then if you think about it, if it's the child that's doing it, child can lift up a case of sodas and put it on top of a body. It was those little things when you start looking at how these people were meeting their demise.
Well, children possessed by demons can do a lot.
Oh, this is true.
And really, the only other thing that I want to point out as far as cinematic wise about this film, the soundtrack, it's equally as eerie as the visuals. If you notice throughout the soundtrack, there are a lot of disordinate tones where it's like it's like elongated notes, scratchy kind of noises, and you hear these whispers, these whisper-like sounds throughout. A lot of audiences, when they watched this, reported leaving just feeling just uneasy, and it really adds to that. Audio is really half of the experience. People can forgive a little bit of like visual issues, but if the audio isn't on point, people will tune out really fast. It really takes you out of the experience if the audio's off. And this film does more than just give you good, clean audio and a good soundtrack. It uses it as a way to make you even more scared.
I absolutely agree with you. So when we do all of this, while we're doing our setup, we will put the movie on again and just let it play. And it had come to its end. And how many times, as soon as you're done watching a movie, you just turn it off? Well, because we were doing all of our stuff.
We were setting everything up.
The end of the movie track.
The credits
was playing. And I even stopped because I finally tuned into it. And it was so eerie. It was this like drumming.
Rhythmic drumming.
But you could hear children in
like
between
whispers.
it. And we're home alone, by ourselves. And I was like, that is really eerie.
It is.
And then I have to laugh because then it started to play something else. And as I was watching it, the audio was off between the talking and what was actually happening in the scene. And it was so annoying that it made me laugh. You're right. When audios and different things are off, it really pulls you out of what is happening and you become more focused on that. But then when you add in those little sounds and everything's just...
It elevates it.
It elevates it.
It does.
So, yeah. So even just in our whole experience of sitting down to talk about this, we were having the weird soundtrack noise that was just creeping me out as we were walking around the house.
All right, my love. So should we start moving into fun facts?
Oh, I do love me some fun facts. Okay, let me get ready for fun facts. Hold on.
Derrickson, the director, actually had Ethan Hawke sit late at night in almost complete darkness and actually watch the reels in order to get those genuine reactions from him.
Did he really?
He did.
Okay.
So it was funny while we were talking about cinematography. You nailed it. You nailed it.
It's that witchy sense,
right?
Yeah.
So you're seeing a more genuine reaction from him, and it makes it feel more natural, more engaging.
That's okay. I appreciate that even more because that's cool. Because you're right, it really did, and I think that really pulled you in as to this is intense. This is insane.
This is something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fun fact for you, the older police officer that we deal with in the movie, the one who confronts Ellison at the beginning and then stops him as he's leaving town, is actually played by a former U.S. senator of the Republican Party, and he had actually run for presidency as well. So he's a politician. Yeah. It was somewhere in the 90s.
Oh, jeez.
But
I was going to say, because I don't ever remember his presidency run, so it must have not been at a time that I would have been paying attention. But that's cool.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's kind of like the Reagan thing, too. I mean, he was an actor and a politician.
Yeah.
So, and became president. Right. So, I mean, it's not an Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know.
Right.
So.
I don't think he ever got the actual candidacy for it, but he was up for it with the party.
Okay.
He was a senator from Tennessee, I believe it was.
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Born in Kentucky, I think, though.
He definitely a Southern.
Right. The masks that they put onto the children that were under Bagul's influence. So those were handcrafted and hand-painted. And the artists for that went back and studied folk art and death photography from the 19th century in order to get accurate creep factor. And really step it up. So they studied those types of images and portrayal, and that's what you're seeing come through there.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that like old death photography feel.
And if you ever have checked out old death photography, it is macabre and it is morbid, and sometimes you're trying to figure out which one is the dead person, and sometimes it's multiple dead people, but that's pretty cool. Yeah. And I love the dedication into that. Yeah. To create.
It really gives an uncanny valley feel to it. You're familiar with uncanny valley, right?
Explain.
So uncanny valley is where something seems human but not quite. So this is why a lot of people get disturbed by like dolls or animatronics or things like that have that human characteristics, but something's not right. Oh. So it gives you that uncanny valley feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We've run into this quite a bit throughout the years, actually, of people with that uncanny valley feel. Think of a friend of ours who runs a witch shop, and her husband, who is fully against dolls being involved.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So that's uncanny valley at play right there.
Or somebody that won't come into our house unless
we move one of our dolls
into another room.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's uncanny valley.
Okay. There we go. I gotcha.
Okay. During test screenings, audiences frequently commented that the Super 8 reels made them feel uncomfortable, even when the murders hadn't started yet. The anticipation alone was enough to unsettle most people. It's rare in horror films that the setup is scarier than the payoff, but Sinister actually pulled that off pretty beautifully.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny that you keep using the word beautiful in the movie Sinister.
Right.
You've said it a few times. I've caught it. I was like, beautiful and sinister. But I get where you're going.
Good filmmaking, even in something like this that is supposed to scare you, is beautiful. It's an art. All right, my love. So now let's start diving into our ratings for Sinister.
I feel like you're gonna have some higher ratings than
I will judge fairly.
Okay.
At least as much as I can.
Okay.
So cinematography. What do you give this? 1 out of 5 skulls.
I'm gonna go into a 4 because the way that the scenes and the angles that they hit for that pool scene just keeps coming back to me. And I even said with the windows and stuff. So there's things that I did call out in the lighting. So yeah, let's go with a 4. I say 4.
4 on cinematography?
On cinematography.
I'd say 5 for me. This is getting a 5. Because of the authenticity that they utilized with the Super 8 film reels. Yeah. lighting, as I explained before, purposely being subdued like that, and just their ability to pull you in and engage you into the story with the visuals and with the audio of this. I think it deserves a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, it pulls you in all the way through. There was no lacking.
There was really no point in this where I kind of ventured off anywhere else mentally.
We were fully engaged in this one.
All right, fright factor, 1 out of 5.
I wanted to jump on that 5, because there is 4. It's the demon realm, and I gauge things on how I would get out of a scenario or how I would handle a scenario. So I feel like I can stay with a 4 because there was some good jumping and some make you cringe in your seat kind of scenes in it. So a good solid 4. Pushing close to that 5.
Yeah. Okay. I'd say for me, this is going to get another 5. I'd say there are definite elements of this that are deeply disturbing. For me, I have a hard boundary around kids. I have a hard boundary around kids being harmed or manipulated in any way in a film, and this centers pretty heavily around that context. But that being said, I did not enjoy it. So it's still one of those that just, it's deeply disturbing as a concept for me.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
On top of the paranormal stuff.
Yeah. Whole new meaning to the Boogie, man.
All right, that is our assessment of Sinister. Phenomenal movie, definitely worth a watch. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I really think that this is one for the ages. If you agree with our assessment of this film, let us know. If you think that we're completely off base and you want to add in other things that we missed, drop that for us as well. We love finding out new information about these movies. It's part of why we do this. And don't forget, while you're there, go ahead, drop this a like, share it, comment, do all of those things that YouTubers tell you to do, because it really does help. It helps us to become your favorite spooky movie spot on YouTube.
And until next time, stay weird.